I was thinking as that last video rendered and uploaded, and I realized I made a mistake. And it's kind of a good mistake to make because it gives me a chance to show you how to change the name of these files. I called this PD1, PD2, PD3, but that's not what they are. This is 3 versions of the same pattern. There are 3 different patterns, but they all started with this same object. So a better naming convention would be PD1A, PD1 1B, PD1C. So the way you change the names of these, and of course there's always multiple ways, come up to the hamburger menu up here. See this little 3 lines up here? Click and come down, and yeah, I could have done it a different way. It was sitting there right in front of us, but I wanted to show you. Right now I've got the medium thumbnail view. By default it opens up with the small thumbnails. So I'm going to go to small list, large list, and we'll just go to large list so you can see that. And here we have PD01, double click, and then I can name it A. PD02, O1B, and whoops, I didn't get rid of the A there. How did I do that? Okay, and then POB. Okay, so you guys saw me flub that. And then PD01C. Oh, I see what I did. I'm typing an A instead of A1. So now we've got these 3 swatches named correctly, and we can switch back to our thumbnail view and list view right here as well. I just wanted to show you these options here because we use those as well. So now, let's say we want to save. I'm not going to save out all of them. I'm not going to resize all of them right here in front of you, but for right now, I want to see more polka dots. It's too big. It doesn't look good. So we go under Object, Transform, and then Scale right here. See it? Scale. And because I've played around with the Scale dialog box before, 50% uniform, and make sure Transform Objects. If this is selected, you're going to transform this rectangle, and it's going to become 50% smaller. That's not what you want. This is not what you want. You want just to transform the pattern. And yeah, these things are okay right now. But notice that you can change the horizontal and vertical scale. For polka dots, you don't want to do that because you're going to ruin the perfect circle. And then, what do we want to do here? Do we want to copy? We just want to click OK. And a preview wasn't on. Excuse me. By default, I forgot to say this, by default it's off most of the time, so if preview's not on, go ahead and check that so you can see what's going on and click OK. And now we got the same issue. Now if I saved out a JPEG here, look at this. Okay, I can save out a JPEG Scotch. There you go, it's my pattern. Look at it. Okay, well I'm going to look at it, but what I'm going to see is this big white space at the top and the black circles hugging the bottom. Why'd you do that? Why don't you take some pride in your work and present this better? And the way you do that is to select it, because you always got to select. You always got to tell Illustrator what it is you're working on, and then come up to Object, Transform, and then Move. And we've got, Shift Command N, M here. And I'm not sure if that's a shortcut. I've made so many custom shortcuts. I believe this is a shortcut that you have as well. And now, again, we don't want to transform objects because we don't want to move that rectangle. But we do want to move it vertically. We want to change it. And the way I do it is, you can just start typing in numbers here, or you can just click to activate this box, and then the up and down arrows. If I hit up, you see it moves down. So I want to hit the down arrow, and I'm just going to hold the down arrow and I'm watching the top and bottom, so I can see the same amount of white space here and here because I want to present this nicely. And I'm going to click OK. Now, we could mess with the side to side too. We could do that, and you could say, I really don't like this space right here, and how can I deal with that? For now, it's important enough. I mean, it's just important that you understand that you have control over the size of your pattern and the positioning of your pattern through those 2: Object, Transform, and Move and Scale. And hey, you might also see, hey, rotate, reflect, shear. What do those things do? Well, why don't you find out? You know, you may not like shear for this, but the others, you know, might be of interest. Maybe you want to move that to the lower right-hand corner. Wonder how you would do that. So there you go. And now you can save out. And remember, this is 01C. So if I save this JPEG out into that pattern folder, so I save for the web, and we already are at 1080, so we don't have to change anything. We're saving it out as a JPEG. Why is this at 100%? Okay. Well, bop that down to 80 because this is a small file anyway. And then we want to go back to where we were, back down to patterns. And you saw that our most recent items were here. You saw you were in my Easter egg folder. Stay out of my Easter egg folder. That's the last place I saved something to. So now we have pattern 01C. So we know this JPEG is this tile. That is the C tile. And you might think, Skysgo, this doesn't. Hey, believe me, it matters. When you have created hundreds of patterns, being able to identify the swatch it came from is so important. And you might even call this, you know, polka dot 01C. So just a thought. And I use two caps because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. So that's saved out. What I want you guys to do, and I'm going to show you a few more things, but I want you to start thinking about, once these videos are over, I want you to experiment. I want you to create at least 10 different patterns from different objects and then make variations on that theme by experimenting. I'm going to show you a few other ways to move things around in the next video.